Exogenous ketones and extreme environmental cognitive performance. I'm excited to share our recently published studies funded by the Department of Defense and United States Special Operations Command, looking at the cognitive performance impact of exogenous ketones in extreme environments. First, what are exogenous ketones and why did we conduct these studies? Ketones are very unique metabolites, primarily produced by the liver in low insulin environments, such as during fasting or low carbohydrate diets, which have been demonstrated to have diverse metabolic and molecular effects in various organ systems, including most notably the muscle, brain, and heart. These include things such as epigenetic, antioxidant, anti-inflammatory effects. And this has fostered an exciting field of research into the therapeutic applications of ketones. But why performance? Well, in 2016, a hallmark paper by an Oxford research group demonstrated that exogenous ketones had robust effects on systemic metabolism, but also improved physical performance in high-level athletes. This spurred an entire field of study into the performance implications of exogenous ketones, including a number of studies by our group. Last year, we recently published a review synthesizing the sports and performance implications of exogenous ketones with Brennan Egan, Mark Evans, and Tyler McClure. But the results were mixed, and this was largely explained by, one, heterogeneous exogenous ketone supplements, which all have diverse metabolite profiles and differential impacts on physiology, but two, diverse experimental and exercise designs, aerobic versus anaerobic, acute versus chronic administration, which is common during initial phases of research into the potential of new tools or technology. But we felt that some of the most promising data were on cognition and the potential ability for ketones to regulate brain energy metabolism. In fact, this dates back to 1969, where George Cahill discovered that ketones supplement brain energies during low glucose environments. Thus, in a randomized control fashion, we tested whether exogenous ketones, specifically ketone monoester, could mitigate brain energy deficits during extreme environmental exposures to low oxygen availability, specifically hypoxia and high altitude environments. What did we find? When we exposed individuals to low oxygen levels equivalent to 20,000 foot altitude, equivalent to Mount Kilimanjaro, we found that exogenous ketones not only mitigated cognitive decline by improving measures of cognitive efficiency, correct response time, and vigilance, but even more interesting, exogenous ketones increased circulating oxygen levels in the blood, demonstrating fascinating physiology. We then wanted to understand if the effect also occurred when coupling high altitude hypoxia with exercise. Why is this important? Exercise has its own independent impact on cognition, which may overlap with those observed with exogenous ketones, which is something we previously observed in our other work. In our second study, we found yet again that ketones increased oxygen availability, although we did not observe significant differences in cognition, suggesting overlaps between exercise and ketones on cognition in these settings. So, what does this mean? It appears that exogenous ketone administration increases oxygen availability during hypoxia exposure, which translates to improvements in cognition and cognitive performance. But it appears that these effects on cognition may be dependent on other potential cognitive enhancing activities, such as exercise. This work is just the start and sheds light on the potential application of ketones in unique extreme environmental settings, such as high altitude, hypoxia, or during brain energy deficits. This work would not be possible without United States Special Operations Command and the Department of Defense, the entire team at the Florida Institute for Human and Machine Cognition, and major credit to Tyler McClure, a graduate student and newly minted PhD who took a leadership role in these projects. If you're interested to learn more about either of these pieces of work or others, please reach out and check out these new publications.